Thank you, Mr. Chairman, and thank you for holding this important hearing, and thank you all for being here. Ms. Hawley, I understand that the licensing process to build an LNG export facility is expensive and time-consuming. But one estimate I saw said it would cost up to $200 to $300 million to complete the FERC permitting process. Could you please describe that process and how it ensures that environmental impact is carefully evaluated before construction begins? And finally, are there measures perhaps that can be taken to make this process more efficient?
Thank you. Great question. Yes, the permitting process is thorough. Just from the FERC perspective, over 40 different permits are involved in permitting one facility. The process takes years. The one that we've been engaged with from the port's perspective, we've been involved with this for several years, maybe 3, and actually it's kind of interesting because that LNG facility 10 years ago was going to be an LNG importer, which is somewhat interesting because that's how they hit the ground in the Corpus Christi area, and the economy has changed so quickly that now they're positioning to be an LNG exporter and well along the way with their permitting. Many agencies take a look at this. The community input is phenomenal. We've had hearing after hearing in the community. The stakeholders in the community, the agencies that are there are very much engaged. The Coast Guard has been an enormous partner with us. The Corps of Engineers has been involved. Just from the port's perspective, we were working with our pilots in designing the ship channel as we extended it to make sure that we had the appropriate turning basins to accommodate the LNG ships. There's so many pieces that go into making sure that it's safe, making sure that it's environmentally sound. I'm just giving you just a couple of little pieces from our perspective. The EPA weighs in on it. All of the Texas agencies weigh in. I told you about the Coast Guard. The Department of Transportation weighs in. We have so many eyes on it. That's part of the reason the process takes so long. And one of the questions that had come up during, and I was preparing to visit with you, was about what would you recommend, how would we change this? And the FERC process is thorough. It needs to be faster. I don't know if it's because we don't have enough employees there addressing this. Maybe you can have parallel paths, but the process is so incredibly time-consuming and frustrating for those investors who need the stability that once they make an application, it's going to be an up or down. That they can move forward, or it's not going to. We had 2 or 3 other facilities that were looking at being there. So it's a very thorough process, very time-consuming, but anything that can be done to streamline that process, expedite that process, not shortcut that process, you can do things parallel, would be a great advantage to not only the industry, but I think also to our balance of trade.
Okay, that's helpful. Did you have something to add?
Yes, thank you. First, I would note that nearly all, if not all, of the LNG export permits have been granted under the current administration. Second, the process is not quite as thorough as Ms. Hawley described because the Environmental Protection Agency asked FERC if they assessed the impact on climate change of reviewing and citing these permit applications, and FERC has not done so. And that's pretty important given particularly these facilities are going to be going, many in coastal areas. They may be subject to sea level rise, storm surge, other things like that. And lastly, the part of the process that the current legislation that the chairman mentioned at the beginning of the hearing that passed the Energy and Commerce Committee today would truncate the DOE National Interest Review, which, as I understand it, only takes about 50 days. It's the FERC part of the process that is very lengthy.
Ms. Hawley, does that sound correct to you?
We certainly took into consideration, as you would imagine with an $11 billion investment, being in floodplains and, you know, those issues, hurricane proofing these facilities. So all of that has been considered in the siting of the facility and in its construction from our perspective. And the climate change piece, I don't know about that.
Okay, thank you.